Daily Broadside to 928. Yesterday I went to my first baby shower. Never been to a baby shower before. I didn't know guys went to those, but apparently we do. And I go there, and it was all dainty foods and chiffon this and chiffon that, and pinafores and finger sandwiches and wispy this, wispy. Just a bunch of crap. It was very good, actually. Some of the better banana pudding I've ever had. But I didn't eat a ton because I was getting ready to go to dinner. So it was kind of like a very lightest of wars divorce, right? But here's the thing I figured out, right? I was drinking punch. I think I had, they're little tiny cups. I don't know why they didn't have they needed steins or something, but I must have had 17 cups of that stuff. And it was just lime sherbet, Sprite, and pineapple juice. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, God, why do we not drink punch? Why is punch not offered at restaurants? It's easy to make. You just throw this together with that and bam, And the whole time I'm like, is there marshmallows in this? And I forgot it's lime sherbet. So you're adding ice cream to it, which sherbet is ice cream. I don't know why we have another. Why is sherbet not just ice? It's just green ice cream. Why has it got to be sherbet? I guess there's a different process because is there not milk in sherbet? Yeah, we're not here to talk about that. But here's the thing. We need to drink punch more often. Punch should be offered in a can at the store, at restaurants. We should make it at home. We should really, because every time you drink it, and I'm talking about real punch. I'm not just talking about just Sprite, pineapple. You got to put some sherbet in there, and that takes it to the level it needs to be. And I was at I wandered into what I thought was a diner. It turned out to be an old drugstore from the 50s that serves food at the counter and all this stuff. So I walked in there and I was eating breakfast yesterday. It's kind of like a brunch. It was 10:30 in the morning. A very good sourdough sandwich. And but here's the thing, right? While I'm sitting there, this woman walks in with one of them running strollers, and she's got a 2-year-old in the stroller, and she's just dripping sweat, where she's been out running and all. And she goes up to the counter, she reaches in this big jar that says Dum Dums, 20 cents, and grabs a Dum Dum. And she's like, can I get 2 cups of water? And they're like, yeah, sure. And two Dum Dums. And I'm like, is she just breaking $1 for this? Did she carry $1 when she was? And she was just, I'm like, you probably could have just brought water from the house. But she opens the Dum Dum, doesn't even look at it, just gives it to the kid, and the kid starts sucking on the Dum Dum. And then she reaches in there to give it to other. So the kid's 2-fisting Dum Dums, right? And the crazy part about it is she didn't once look at the flavor. And I'm like, what in the hell? Who eats a Dum Dum and doesn't first go, all right, Tutti Frutti, all right, root beer, what mystery flavor, which I don't like the mystery flavor. I don't want any mystery candy, okay? But the point is, it's pretty much that's communism to just randomly just grab a Dum Dum. Now, I get it that most Dum Dum flavors are pretty good, and there's not really a bad one, but you need to know what's going on. That's just weird. I was talking to this girl yesterday, and I mentioned, I don't know what we were talking about, but I mentioned Yoplait, the yogurt, and she's like, what did you say? I'm like, Yoplait, the one's a little slender, it gets smaller at the top. She's like, Yoplait? I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about, but it's Yoplait. There's a T on the end, okay? And she's like, yeah, it's a Yoplait. It's French. It's silent. And I'm like, agree to disagree, woman. And then it wasn't 5 minutes later, this bitch used the word diminutive, and I wish I could remember how she pronounced it, because it was something like, yeah, but it's very diminutive. And I'm like, I'm sorry, whoa, what? I pulled the car over. I said, diminutive. Is that what you said? And she's like, Yoplait. And then she makes fun of me because I say Elks. She's like, there's no K in Elks. And I'm like, well, I don't know what Elks you got, but it's diminutive whether or not I'm going to eat some Yoplait later. I mean, it's just so dumb. I'm like, even if I'm wrong with Yoplait, you're so much more wrong with diminutive. I said it's diminutive. You Yoplait eat bitch, But then we go to dinner, all right? And me and her and a couple of friends go to dinner at this Peruvian restaurant in Gbura, NC, which is a phenomenal restaurant. I've been there a couple times. It doesn't disappoint. The waitress, Allie, phenomenal. Gave us some free flan at the end. Of course, when you spend $280 at a restaurant, it's nice when they throw in some free flan. But here's the thing, right? So I ordered we all get our orders, our drinks and everything. and I got an appetizer. Well, the appetizer was like some kind of, I think it was like coconut shrimp on like some cold gold potatoes with like some avocado and then like some like salsa stuff. Very, very good. It was probably better than everything else on the table. But here's the thing. They brought it out at the same time as another plate of like chicken and rice. And I thought it was part of the appetizer because she put it like kind of right in the middle of the table. Now I learned later that I think she couldn't remember who ordered that, so she kind of put it in the middle of the table to figure out whose it was. And so we all start digging in to this shrimp appetizer with a side of chicken. I'm like, man, I've never had an appetizer with 2 plates. This is kind of wicked. I mean, that's a lot of food for $14.65, which is what the shrimp thing cost. You know, which later I learned it was kind of overpriced because there were 3 shrimp, and then it got like, wow, that really wasn't a deal at all, but it was really good. So if you value experience, it was worth every penny. So we're eating it, and all 4 of us are digging into it. We're eating it, and we're like, man, this is really good. And then she brings the other 3 entrees, right? A couple beefsteak a la pobre, and then some shrimp bisque, which was so good. And so we're eating all this stuff, and we've got 3 entrees, and in the middle of the table there's a plate of chicken that matches the other entree plates, like in size, and then the little appetizer plate, you know, and all this. And then we realize that we're eating one of the other person's entrees who didn't get his entree. And because I'm sitting there going back in my head, I'm like, I don't remember the appetizer coming with chicken and rice, but damn if this ain't good. We ended up eating half his food before. I don't know, this may not be funny to anybody, but it was funny to me and everyone else except him. But he was like, it was all cool. So it was kind of like family style Peruvian because we were all sharing everything. But it was really funny. And lastly, I'll tell you this. I was at a restaurant Friday evening, right? And there's this little old lady, and she was with what I can only surmise was her son and his wife. And she's one of these people that walks with a cane and she faces the ground because her back is just, you know, curved out so bad and all this. And just frail little old lady. She looked like she was 92 years old. Maybe weighed 63 pounds. You know, like 8-year-olds outweigh her these days, you know. So and she's walking to the thing, and I got out of the car and I'm way across the parking lot. I'm like, I bet we beat her to the door. And we did. So I held the door for her. She comes in and she gets her table and she sits kind of diagonal across from us. We're sitting there. And I'm sitting there watching her, and she just orders like a little cup of soup and a little thing of sweet tea. And she sat there so delicately, just enjoying her soup and smiling, you know, and looked like she was just having a grand old time. And the table in front of us, like the next booth across, had a little kid, right? Like a little, like 1.5-year-old or, you know, whatever age kids start walking. And so it walks over when she leaves, and she starts to talk to the little kid, and she just smiles from ear to ear. And she was like, you know, just interacting. They were like, oh, what a sweet old lady eating their soup, you know, wanting to talk to our child and all this stuff. And I got to tell you, it was so nice. It like made my heart warm. I felt like the Grinch. I'm like, where's my heart? It's over here. It grew, 7 sizes that day. And but it was so nice that they took her out and she got to have soup, which I'm sure she loved because she didn't have to cook, and or get Meals on Wheels, or somebody to bring her some soup, or have to go to the grocery. I don't know what the hell happened. She probably can't drive because the way her back is arched. I mean, you can't, like, I don't know how. You'd have to like lean your seat all. She's not tall enough. I mean, she was like 3'8" at her back. You know what I mean? So she couldn't have been like more than like, you know, 3'12". But my point, I don't know what my point is, but it was nice. And I would have loved to have sat down and talked to her, but that would have been weird because they'd have been like, who are you? And I'm like, I'm the person here to talk to your mom about her soup, you know? But anyway, it's soup weather. So y'all have a good one, get it.